Hello everyone, welcome to the Financial Information channel. In this video, I'm going to give the top 5 stocks to watch during the month of March. And March is one of the longest months in the stock market. It has a lot of trading days. Now keep in mind, this video will be only to see how the companies perform during earnings. This is not an advice to buy, sell, or trade stocks. But now let's take a look at the stocks that are going to be announcing earnings during March. And the number 5 stock is going to be Best Buy. And as you can see in the screen, Best Buy has one of the lowest price to earning ratio for a retailer. It has a price to earning ratio of around 17. And the company will report earnings on March 1st. And it also has a dividend of around 1.86%. But one of the most important things is how the company has performed when the company has reported earnings during the last 4 quarters. And as you can see in the screen, even though some of the earnings have been strong, the company has dropped in price 3 out of the last 4 quarters. And during the last quarter, the company reported weak guidance. So that is one of the reasons why the company shares moved down. And even though the Best Buy shares have moved down after announcing the earnings, the last time they announced the earnings, the price was around $55. And look at the price at this moment, it's around $70 per share. But now let's take a look at the stock chart to see how the company is doing. And as you can see in the stock chart, the company is at a decent RSI. The RSI is around this 47. It has a resistance around the $78 price. And it has a support around the $68 price. And another support around the $61. And the second support around the $60 price. The good thing about the share price is consolidating. And consolidating means the company is moving up and down. It's not moving up. It's not setting new highs or it's not setting new lows. We will get an idea how the company performs, and even though this is a retailer company, I think it's doing a great job fighting Amazon. And the next company is gonna be Momo, and that is a company located in China. And as you can see on the screen, the share price is almost at the $32 price. The price to earnings has become better than last year. It's around the $21 price. And the company will announce the earnings the week of March 5th to March 9th. We will have to wait for the company to officially announce the earnings during that week. But now let's get an idea how the company has performed during earnings. And as you can see in the screen, the company has beaten the EPS 4 out of the last 4 times and the EPS 4 out of the last 4 times. But keep in mind, during the last 2 quarters, the company has moved down over double digits. The last time the share price was around the $25 price. And during the last earnings, there was a lot of concerns that there was a lot of Chinese regulations over this company, and that was not the case. And as you can see in the screen, the Chinese government shut down 12 apps for pornographic content. Now the main business for Momo is they do a lot of live streaming. It's kind of like a snapshot of China. But now let's get an idea how the stock chart is at this moment. And as you can see in the screen, the RSI is almost at the 70. That is a little bit of concern. It has a resistance around the $38 price, and it has a support around the $30 price, and another support around the $25 price. And even though the company has been moving up, the volume is actually low at this moment. So that can be a positive or a negative. The best thing for this company is to continue moving up, and during earnings have great earnings so the shares can continue moving up and go over the $38 price. And that could happen if everything goes perfect. We will see what happens when they announce the earnings. But now let's take a look at the number 3 company, and that company is going to be Thor Industries. Now this company will announce the earnings on March 7th. The share price at this moment is around $124, and it pays a dividend with 1.18%. Now let's take a look at the earnings, how the company has performed during the last 4 quarters when the company has announced the earnings. Now as you can see in the screen, the company has beaten the EPS 4 out of the last 4 times and the EPS 4 out of the last 4 times. And the share price has reacted positive 3 out of the last 4 quarters when the company has announced the earnings. But what is Thor's business? They sell a lot of RVs. And as you can see in the screen, during December we set new records in terms of sales. And you have to keep in mind that nowadays millennials like to go out. That is one of the reasons why this company has done really well in terms of sales. Millennials like to experience things, so that is one of the reasons why they like to go out and post it on their social media. But now let's take a look at the stock chart so we can get an idea how the company is at this moment. Now as you can see at this moment, the RSI, it is really low around the 32. So that actually could be a positive. The company has a resistance around the $155 price, and as you can see, it has a support around the $130 price, and that is below the support level. So that is one of the reasons why the RSI is a little bit low. The next support is around the $110, and the volume is a little bit low, especially since the company will announce earnings soon. Now I put on the screen that the company needs to complete a gap between the $140 price to around the $150 price. I will cover this company in the upcoming weeks. But now let's take a look at the number 2 stock, and that's gonna be Five Below. I mentioned this company in one of the videos that I did last week. And as you can see in the screen, the share price at this moment is around the 66 with 43 cents. It has a little bit of a high price to earning ratio for a retail. The price to earning ratio is around the 43 with 53 cents, and the company will announce the earnings the week of the March 20th to the March 26th. Now let's take a look how the company has done during earnings, and as you can see, the company has beaten the earnings 4 out of the last 4 times and the EPS 4 out of the last 4 times, and the company shares have been very positive. So that is one of the reasons why the company has moved up so much. Now I mentioned in the last video that this company had a comp sales during the last quarter of around 8.5%. That is a great number for a retail. And the gross profit jumped around the 30.7% over the previous year. That is another great metric for this company. But now let's take a look at the stock chart. And as you can see at this moment, the RSI is in the positive around the 54. It has a resistance around the $73 price and a support that is at this moment around the 66 price. It has another support around the $58 price and another support if the company drops around the $55 price. And the volume has been excellent during the last few weeks. And that is great to see that the company has a really good volume, especially since the earnings are about 4 weeks away. I will pay attention to the earnings if the comp sales continue to grow like he has done during the last few quarters. But now let's take a look at the number 1 stock to watch during March, and that is gonna be Nike. Now Nike had one of the most recognizable brands in the stock market, and as you can see in the screen, the share price is around the $67 price. It has a price to earning ratio of around the $29 price, and the company has a dividend yield of around 1.19%, and the company will announce the earnings the week of March 19th to March 23rd. But now let's take a look how the company has performed during earnings. The company shares have moved down 3 out of the last 4 times when the company has announced the earnings. Now I didn't expect big things out of Nike in 2017. However, the share price has continued moving up during the last few months. And this is where I'm going to demonstrate the weekly stock chart for Nike. Now you can see at this moment the RSI is high around the 64. Now the company was consolidating for 2 years. It was moving around the 60 to around the $50 price for 2 years, from 2015 to around 2017. And the volume has been positive during the last few months. The good thing about Nike is that it's setting new highs after spending 2 years in the consolidation price range between the $50 and $60 price. The best thing that can happen for the share price for Nike will be, even if they don't report great earnings, that the share price continue to be over the $60 price. We're gonna get an idea how the company performs during the earnings. And that is gonna be everything for the video. Please leave in the comment section which one was your favorite stock in this video, or if you have a favorite stock during the month of March. I would like to know. And as always, you can subscribe to the Financial Information channel. I'm gonna continue making videos about the stock market, personal finance, and how to make money online. I want to thank you once again for watching the video. Have an excellent day and take care, my friends.